Hi guys, Megan here with Cottage Quilting. So as you can see, we are now on block 8 of our corner bean block of the month. So I have my 2 sets of fabric A, B, C, D, and E. Our first set of directions are right sides up and wrong sides up. So do look at your fabric very carefully to make sure you've got it organized. So the first set of directions are very specific. So again, we're going to use our trim line 1. Sorry, here, I'll put my hand here. So we're using our trim line 1, which is the jagged line, okay? So on our right sides of fabric, we're going to line this up right here until we're at that 4.5-inch finish line. The directions are very specific that it only wants you to cut one set, okay? So that was my right sides up. My fabric is a little hard to tell, so I'm going to leave them kind of spaced together. Okay, so I'm going to do the next set. Again, I'm lining up my trim line 1, my jagged line right here. Okay, and then I'm going to cut. So our next step is with our B and our C fabric. I just want to show you, Drew went and got me my fancy cutter, my gold Bernina cutter. Ooh la la. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to put our wrong sides together. Because remember, we want to be able to get a mirrored image. Sorry, I just have to grab my ruler. And this time, we're using our solid line, okay? So I'm going to line this up on the edge of my fabric right here. And again, I'm at that 4.5 finish mark. And I'm cutting this. Okay. Ooh la la. Okay. And now I'm rotating my ruler again till I get to this solid piece right here. There we go. And I'm putting it at the bottom. And I'm using this seam line right here. Okay, so side triangle number 2. So I'm going to line this all up like so. I'm going to do this for both my B and my C fabric. Okay. So again, here's our C. We're lining this up. Whoops. Trim. I'll move this so you can see it. Rotate. Oh, I don't want to move my fabric though. There we go. And trim. Are you taping? Oh, delete that one. So now what we want to do is we want to sew our A fabrics to our B fabrics. So your block is going to look like that when we're finished. Just a friendly reminder that you want to sew it on a scant, okay? So a scant is we're going to have our 1/4-inch guide foot, and you're going to move your needle one position towards the center of your machine, okay? So we're moving it to the right, just one time. Don't move it too many times, okay? Just one time. So if you're in the center, you're going to move it once. So this part of the directions I just want to point out, okay? So see how I have 2 blocks that are identical, that are going the same way, okay? So we're going to have one set of blocks facing up, and we're going to have one set of blocks facing down. Right sides up, wrong sides up. So now for our cutting directions, okay, you can see that I've got my 2 right sides up. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to start again with our, sorry, there we go, with our striped line here, okay? So our corner beam 1 trim line. And we're going to put this at the corner, okay? See how we've got this here? Focus this up. And we're going to cut it. So now that is what my block looks like. Or that is what my piece looks like. Okay, so I'm going to do it again. I'm lining it up on the striped corner line. Okay. Okay, so those match. This matches. Okay. And we're doing the same thing with our wrong sides down. And remember, I use my Acorn Precision Piecing product. Do you see how flat that seam is? When I'm cutting things like this, it makes my life a whole lot easier. So if you're not using the Acorn product yet, I highly, highly recommend it. So with my wrong sides down, I'm still going to cut on the striped line. Okay, cut. I'm going to move these, switch these around. And I'm going to do it one more time. There we go. So I want you to see how this is all kind of coming together, okay? So it looks a little goofy right now, but if we look at our layout and our diagram, this is how our pieces are going to slowly come together, okay? So I want you to have faith. You're doing fantastic. Just keep following the directions. So now our next step is we're going to take our C's and sew them. So the C piece that you had, and sew it to this A and B unit here, okay? And we're going to create 4 blocks that will look like that. Okay. Okay, squaring these blocks up can be a little bit tricky. So her directions are very, very good. Okay, so you're going to line this up. So you can see here that I laid my 2 blocks out so that I could line them up. Okay, so for the first one, when I'm squaring it up, I'm using, so see how like my points are coming down like this? I'm using this side here, and I'm going to square this side up first. And then I'm going to rotate my ruler again. So I want you to see I've cut the one edge, and now I'm lining it up along the 4 here. I'm not still fully square yet because I've got to keep cutting and keep rotating, okay? So I want you to see here all the times that I've rotated it, okay? So I'm lined up on the 4 here, and I have nothing left to cut here. I have nothing left to cut here. Okay, so I'm completely square. Okay, so I'm going to do this one with you. So I want you to see I have it lined up here on the 4. I have this angled line following my fabric here, and I'm a little bit over here. Okay, so I'm going to cut these 2 sides. Ready? Sorry, you're in my way. I got to rotate here. This is where I should have grabbed my rotating mat. Sorry, ladies. Okay, so now I'm going to rotate my fabric. I know those 2 sides, sorry, right here, right? So we've got our 4, so you can see the 4, right? So I'm going to rotate this here because I know this side and this side are good. And look at that. That one came out fairly square. Perfect. Okay, so now I don't want you to freak out, okay? Because it seems a bit confusing. So now our blocks are looking like this, okay? Now we're just using the other side of the triangle. Same thing, I'm lining it up along my 4 and making sure my angle is good right here. And I'm going to cut, and then I'm going to rotate, and I'm going to cut and cut again. Okay, so this is how our finished block is going to look. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take our pieces and we're going to sew this one to this one to this one, this one to this one to this one, this one to this one to this one, and then we're going to press them together. And in her directions, she always says press to the D fabric. Okay? And here you are, ladies. Here is block number 8. So I hope you're enjoying this one as much as I am. Talk to you in a bit. Until the 9th month.